In the first 3 months of 2026, ordinary citizens in one of the world's poorest countries raised 45 billion francs to fight a war their government can't afford alone. Burkina Faso's Patriotic Support Fund has now raised over $800 million since 2023, entirely from its own people. No foreign loans, no IMF bailout, just taxes, salary deductions, and a nation betting it can fund its own survival. The fund launched in January 2023, built to finance Burkina Faso's fight against a jihadist insurgency that's contested large parts of the country for over a decade. Money comes from tax levies, more than half of all revenue, plus mandatory deductions from public sector salaries, taxes on telecom, alcohol, tobacco and gambling, and voluntary donations from citizens and the diaspora. The results have blown past targets every single year. 99 billion francs raised in 2023 against a 100 billion goal. 176 billion in 2024, crushing a 150 billion target. 222 billion in 2025, nearly 50% over target. That money has bought 3 combat helicopters, aircraft engines, armoured vehicles, and funded the volunteer soldiers defending the homeland on the front lines. Here's the strategic shift most coverage misses. This isn't just a funding mechanism, it's a declaration of independence. In early 2025, Burkina Faso formally withdrew from ECOWAS and ended defence cooperation with France, forming the alliance of Sahel states with Mali and Niger instead, pivoting toward Russia, Turkey, and China. Defence now eats up 27% of the entire national budget, nearly 5% of GDP, more than double what NATO asks its own members to spend. Burkina Faso is proving a country doesn't need Western security guarantees if its own citizens are willing to fund the alternative. But there's a real cost to this independence. Squeezing salary deductions and consumption taxes out of one of the world's poorest populations to fund a war is not free money. It's citizens absorbing the cost that foreign aid used to cover. And despite the diplomatic distance from the West, Burkina Faso still quietly accepted nearly 10 billion francs in US security assistance in 2024. Full independence hasn't actually arrived. It's being financed in installments by people who don't have much left to give. Burkina Faso just proved a country can crowdfund its own war from its own citizens without asking anyone else for permission. The real question: is this the blueprint for African security independence, or an unsustainable burden being quietly passed down to people who can least afford it? Drop your take below. Next episode, we're heading back to the economy. Stay tuned.